Most underrated and underused mechanic is hitting the ball hard. The amount of times, like listen, I'm gonna cancel this search for a second. The amount of times I'll go into games like high champ, low grand champ in previous seasons, and I'll see somebody doing something like this, right? There's the ball. Now they're coming in for the shot, and they just like, they don't even know when they're supposed to flip. They don't even know when they're supposed to flip. They don't know how to time their dodge to get more power on the ball. They'll be like this. Nice power shot, bro. Sick. Advice for improved boomers. It's all about like lining up the center of your car's mass with the center of the ball's mass and dodging at the last possible second into it. That's how you get the most power. And you want to watch, like, all pro players are going to be insane at this. They're all going to be able to smack the living daylights out of the ball way harder than I can with consistent boomers. But I can tell you for a fact, like in most of my ranked games, because I'm really not, I don't care about all of the aerial mechanics and stuff. I just want the basics. I score a lot more just booming shots than most players in my games, because people don't focus on it enough. They're all not very good at it. They're all trying to score like cool goals and stuff. And, yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But if you want to win, you got to learn. There we go. That was an example of how not to hit the ball. Do you see how my car just rolled away from it and the ball barely moved? That's like a pretty common thing. Or people will go like this. Do you see how that timing is just so bad? Like, I'm dodging too early, so the top of my car is like rolling into the ball instead of the front of my car hitting it. It's awful. It's so bad when people could just drive into the ball, but they choose to dodge and they actually lose power because they dodged. If they just drove into the ball, they would have done more. I'm thinking, I'm just screaming to myself, just drive into the ball. Like, just drive into it. If your timing is that bad on when to dodge, then just drive into the thing. I'm trying to do it badly, but it's actually quite hard because I don't do this. There we go. That was shocking. That was a terrible shot. This is what I see in every single ranked game I ever play. Somebody will shoot the ball like this or just hit the ball like that. Yep, there we go. Perfect example of a terrible shot. You guys see this? Look at the power, or lack thereof. Dodging way too early. Not lining up the center of the car's mass with the center of the ball's mass and the point of impact. The point of impact, like the part of the ball that you hit, needs to be directly between the center of the ball's mass and the center of your car's mass in order to get maximum power. So like here, I waited too long, the ball bounced up too high and I hit the bottom of it, so there's not a straight line between the center of the two masses and the point of impact. Point of impact is below. See? Bottom of the ball? See the point of impact? It was like too low, so we didn't get any power on that shot. Whereas if you time it better, you have better timing. If you hit it just a tiny bit earlier, you get a lot more power, because that was the proper timing. Humble flex, Professor Johnny. I mean, this is how it works. This is how people can improve their game. It's learning how to boom the ball. Yeah, I play KBM. Yeah. Let's try and do a bad one. We're gonna dodge too late. Yep. Terrible. Dodge too late. Point of impact was too low on the ball's hitbox. So watch where the point of impact is. Do you see that? It's on the bottom of the ball. It's not lined up with the center of mass of the car and the ball at all, so it doesn't go very fast. It's a very slow shot. Now we'll try and do a proper one. Better. Much better. Even with a side flip, we still generate way more power because we lined up the point of impact properly. It's like straight in line. Yeah, right through the middle. Johnny Grinds could be one of the best ones players. Nah, I don't think so. No way. All these Utes, man. They've got the mechanical ability. Just they look at something and they're like, oh yeah, I can do that now. They just see it one time and then they can do it after looking at it. I have to like play way too much. You actually didn't know this though? That's why I'm telling you, it's the most underrated mechanic. Nobody even knows. They go into games, they don't even know that they're missing power on their shots because they're just timing the shot entirely wrong. Thank you for the years of service. You're welcome, man. That was a pretty decent one. You gotta wait until the last. You don't have to wait until the last possible second, but it's much easier to time your power shots properly and to get the right impact point if you wait and dodge at the very last second. it's just easier. Like dodging earlier, it becomes like a pre-flip kind of thing. But yeah, just go around and try and smash the ball into the net. It's probably the best training you could do. What's the best training pack for boomers? This is it, honestly. Free play. Just go to free play, hit the ball one way, and then just, I don't know, get it moving towards a goal on a bounce, and then just try to absolutely boom it on target. Just try to smack it. Get your car through the ball. Not doing a very good job here, but better than most people. That was actually, I'll leave this. Hopefully I can score this fast enough that we see a replay. I've missed, haven't I? Okay. Right, maybe we can see this first shot again in the replay. It was a really bad one because I didn't time my run up properly, so the point of impact was too far to the left. See if you can spot that in the replay. You guys see that? Meant to like flip into the ball, but we accidentally clipped it as we were flipping past it, so there was no power. No power at all. Yeah, you can practice like bouncing the ball off corner walls. Same thing. Generate a ton of power on rebounds. But one other way that you can improve your power shooting just slightly is by just tiny little air rolls. Like, see that air roll I did there? So I air roll diagonally away from the direction I'm going to be dodging in. So if I'm dodging diagonally to the right, if you're doing a diagonal dodge to the right and you want to generate a tiny bit more power, it's often better to air roll away from that direction, just slightly like that. Do you see what I did there? Just the air roll away from the direction, like complete opposite direction from the direction you're going to dodge in. That was another good example right there. Now that's not good for a half volley, because obviously you've got no time to air roll on a half volley because you're literally dodging right after you jump. But on some rebounds, you want to do that. Or some full volleys, you want to do that to generate more power. And it really does generate a lot of power. You'll see this is something pro players will do all the time on full volley shots that are like a high bounce on it with an angle involved. Like if it's way off to the side here, they'll try and like scoop their car around it. It's a bit awkward to set up, honestly. This is something that would definitely be better in a training pack. Khaled seems to do it consistently. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's not really the name that comes to mind because the setups that he goes for in his bounce dribbles are not the setups that end up with that position. He just kind of dribbles. Khaled dribbles a bit more like this, where he, you know, gets the ball moving quickly, then he gets a really low bounce going where his car is right beside the ball, and then he'll go for like a couple of touches on the at the end like this, where he hits the ball once and then flicks into it with a shot. But that's another way to generate insane power for sure, but we're talking about shooting, not dribbling, which is more about like just being able to air roll around the ball and then dodge into it to get the best angle possible. That just helps you like get the center of the ball's mass, basically. That's all it does. But yeah, that's a bit harder. I think for half volleys, I think the best thing to do is just to do training. But for what do you call it? Let's see, ground shots. For the air roll shots that I'm talking about, you probably want to go to a training pack. This isn't a very good example. This one I would probably not bother air rolling for. I would just like go for accuracy because there's no struggle. Like this ball's coming at you so fast. Like the only problem is accuracy. The power is going to be insane if you can catch it cleanly. This one's like all about hitting that open net. Well, I'm trying to go top corner. Of course. Let me see if I can. What other shots are in this pack though? Would it also work with fakes? I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, that's just a pure power shot play here. Just gonna go to the next one. See what else we got in here. You think he can only dribble one way? No, didn't say that. I say that Khaled's not the player I think of when I think of players who use like those little air rolls to the diagonally to the left and right to set up their shots. He does that, but not as often as other players who set up their dribbles like that more often. This is like a weird. I'm trying to do it, but I wouldn't even do it for this shot. For this shot, all I would do is like just side flip. That's all I would do, but hopefully with better timing than that, or that. Dodging too late on these. Seeing if there's any shots in this pack that are actually good examples for what I'm talking about. Would it also work fakes if your opponent is challenging? Oh, what are these shots? Poquito, what are we doing here? How do I skip? Nah, I don't use back ace, so I can't skip. Right, I think let's just score that fast so we can get to the next one. Fairy Peak does it. Who does the most of those like little air roll shots, I wonder? Who is the player? Oh, that's coming at me a lot faster than I thought. Depth perception was really thrown off there. So in this is actually, okay, I'll talk about this briefly. So if you find yourself lacking power on shots and the ball's coming right at you, what you're probably doing is dodging too late. So I'll leave this, watch this replay, I dodged too late. So what actually happens is my car hit the ball and then I dodged right here. It's all like messy. So just dodge earlier than you feel comfortable with and you're going to get a lot more power. Let me turn on ball cam. But yeah, you're going to hit the ball a lot harder if you dodge earlier in those kind of positions when the ball's coming right at you. Most of the times that people mess up, the timing on these is just dodging too late. That's as simple as that. You just got to dodge earlier and you'll hit those every day of the week. Well, you'll get the power every day of the week. The accuracy is obviously a different story, but I'm talking about power here. Left doesn't constantly. That's true. It's kind of the same thing here, so if you're messing this one up, you're probably dodging too late. I'll try and do it here. There we go. So if we watch this replay again, I've dodged too late, so the ball doesn't really go anywhere. This is very common. We didn't get to see it again on the replay. See it? Yeah, you gotta dodge much earlier than you think, much earlier than you think on these kind of shots in order to get the ball to actually accelerate away from you. You think you're gonna improve a lot when you switch to PC? Likely. You're asking about possession plays, power hits are good for shooting clears. I just say how important shooting is. You guys are having a conversation amongst each other. I guess this is one of those shots that you could, if I just position badly, I could maybe. This isn't really what I was talking about though. Ideally, you wouldn't have to air roll on this. Ideally, you would just read it properly and then be in the right position. You would read it like, and then just be straight onto it. But I'll read it badly, so I have to go around it awkwardly. Even then, not a good example for the shot I'm talking about. I'm talking about those shots that you can't actually generate max power on unless you do that little air roll like that, or like this. You know, you got to air roll away from it before you dodge. Some shots you need to. Okay, well there we go. I did hit one. This isn't the best shot to explain it, or this isn't the position it would usually happen, but this is what I'm talking about. You air roll a little bit away from the ball, then dodge into it, and you get a ton of power. Watch this replay and you'll see what I mean. We got a ton of power on this one because we did a very little air roll away from the ball, then we dodged into it, generate like massive power on it that probably wouldn't have been possible from that position if we didn't do it. So there's another one, same technique. I think the shots later on in this pack are more likely going to be the kind of shots that are good with that, or we're able to pull that off with. But these ones are a bit awkward. I mean, they're not really. I mean, obviously it's not necessary. We could just do a basic dodge on this shot and we can score just fine with plenty of power. But sometimes you need to do those little air roll adjustments in order to be able to shoot on target with power. Let's see what this is. I didn't have my dodge. There we go. So this one, I mean, make of it what you will. Lots of different ways to shoot that with power. Same with this. Lots of different ways to get that. Channel your inner Ahmad. Yeah, for that one you just got to channel your inner Ahmad. That power. I even know the game that you're referring to, Breco. I even know the game that you're referring to with that. Okay, we're gonna be starting the Ahmad versus apparently Jack ranked cast very soon. I wouldn't recommend this training pack for the particular shot I was talking about. I don't know if they're if there is a training pack that's good for teaching those like air roll shots that you need to air roll to get max power on target, but there probably is one out there. I've not gone to find one. That's my opinion on First Killer. Insane player. Definitely has the potential to be the best player in the world. Can you show us the skill rating leaderboard? Not right now, man. Yeah, you really have to try and learn these air roll shots, guys. If you don't do them, they're so satisfying when you get it right, when you absolutely smash one of them. One of the most satisfying ways to hit the ball. And you get tons and tons of power on it. They're not just good for shots, they're good for like clears as well. They're good for just like, you know, you realize, okay, I've approached this ball a bit too far to the right, so now I'm just going to correct that with an air roll shot instead of changing my angle. So what you see here is instead of steering to the left in my approach, I'm just shooting it with an air roll. Because obviously if I front flip, it's going to go the wrong way. It's not going to go towards the goal. But if we air roll and then shoot, we can get it to go towards the goal without ever slowing down, which is important. You know, we could slow down and let the ball go a bit further. That's not really something you want to be training, because in a game, especially 2v2 and 3v3, you want to be going as fast as possible. So here's another example of using that air roll shot technique to go as fast as you can at the ball while still hitting it on target when you get there. Why did my girlfriend leave me when I hit Champ 2? I'm sure there's more information to that I would need to know in order to answer that question properly. What does align yourself with the ball mean? The word is A-L-I-G-N. A-L-I-G-N, align. It just means lining yourself up properly. So here I'm aligning my car with the ball and the goal. Do you see that? The ball, my car, the ball, and the goal are aligned. When there's an eclipse, the moon, the sun, and the earth are aligned. That's what align means. But yeah, it's spelled A-L-I-G-N. So here's kind of one of those shots that I'm talking about, but this one is a bit of a weird one because it's so far over to the left that you actually probably want to go around it instead of just trying to sneak that one in with an air roll shot. You just want to, I guess, use a power slide for that one. Yeah, here's another one of those power slide setups. But yeah, anyway, I think you guys get the idea. I've been talking about power shots for a while now. Hopefully that makes sense.